Okay, Mayor, you're good to go.
Very good. Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper and the meeting posted on the front door of Town Hall. The next open public meetings of this council will be on March 4th, 2021. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cannon.
Here.
Councilman Hirsch.
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Here.
Councilwoman Montone.
Here.
Councilman Swindell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Here.
Mayor Taglerini.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, and welcome to the Aberdeen Township Council Workshop Meeting for February 18, 2021. Brian, would you like to walk us through this quickly, please?
Sure, Mayor. First item for tonight is we do have on for introduction the stormwater control ordinance. That'll be for first reading tonight. Number 2 is a shared service agreement with the Township of Marlborough for roadway improvement to Greenwood Road. That is a road that we split with Marlborough. We have 2 homes that are on there, and they came to DPW and myself last month, seeing if we would like to share to do the paving of that road. And we thought it would be a good idea to at least have the whole thing done, so our residents weren't going to be left out. So we will be approving that tonight for $52,000. Number 3 is a Monmouth County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. And I have the chief here if he just wants to give a little background on what the council will be looking at tonight.
That's a very voluminous document that we went through that the county has been working on. This goes back, Mayor, if you recall, with Sandy and Irene, when we had our mitigation projects, and there's a lot of data in there about how the storms affect us, especially along the coast. It's an interesting read if you have several weeks to read it. But I did get through quite a bit of it, and very interesting. It talks about the valuation of homes and the financial impact that these storms have on us, and the precautions that we take and the improvements that we make to save our taxpayers, damage to their homes and protect them. So, and there are a number of signatures that are required on it, and we need to approve this resolution to get it back to the county so it can get back to FEMA so the FEMA funding is approved for our area.
Thank you, Chief. Number 4, we have a resolution for approval with the County of Monmouth Mosquito Control Division. This is a yearly, or I believe a yearly resolution we've done in the past as well. But this allows the county to use a helicopter to spray some of our areas of town and to use area to land as well. And then number 5, very, very big news, is the awarding of the bid for the Atlantic Avenue water main replacement. This is, since I've been here last year, we had our plans to pave Atlantic Avenue, and then we did have a water main issue, so we did work on this into late last year with Anthony from CME, our engineer, and we put the bid out earlier this year, and we had did bid out for the water main replacement. Once that is completed, we can then go and pave Atlantic Avenue and make sure that that is finally taken care of, and we have no more potholes / sinkholes on Atlantic, especially in front of the school. And finally, Mayor, we'll have a presentation by Betsy McBride of Solar Landscape LLC, and that is it. So if anyone, and I will have a regular report during the regular meeting as well. But if anyone has any questions, I will myself or one of our staff will answer.
Any questions from the dais? Not seeing any. Okay, so again, let us welcome Betsy McBride from Solar Landscape to give us a brief explanation of what's going on in the solar business. And Betsy, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and Manager Russell. I did want to ask if it's possible to share my screen. I forgot to check in with you earlier today, Mr. Russell.
Sure, go right ahead. You can actually do that now. You should be able to do it. Yep, there you go.
Just a second, I'm at the end and I just need to go to the beginning. Can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Betsy McBride and I work with Solar Landscape. We are a community solar developer in the state of New Jersey. Community solar is part of the energy master plan for the state. It came about with Governor Murphy signing the Clean Energy Act in 2018, so that we would be working toward a goal of 100% renewable energy by 2050. And I did want to say that this is the second year of a 3-year pilot. We just went to application with Board of Public Utilities on February 5th. And, you know, I was madly trying to get in front of you before we went, but sometimes the leases, you know, push up to the lease negotiation pushes up to the very end. So this is more of a preparing you to see what community solar is about and allowing you to ask questions as we move into the next year of the 3-year pilot. So the overview briefly is, you know, what the state is doing with this program, what Solar Landscape is doing, what we had proposed in Aberdeen and likely would propose again as long, because we do have that lease with this property owner, and then ask for questions and follow up. So community solar is different from any other solar program that you've seen before. So if you had any past experience with aggregation or third-party billing, I want you to just kind of clear your brain of that. What we do is we put panels on the top of a commercial real estate commercial building, and then we construct it. We pay a lease to the property owner. The power is then sent to, I believe your JCP&L, is that correct?
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure I didn't have that wrong. But then that energy is then delivered to the local utility. They have to replace whatever solar power is given to the grid, then they have to retire dirty energy. So that's the way that the air is getting cleaner. And then it is sold at a discount to the customers in your local community. So your Aberdeen residents would be able to take advantage of that discount. I see I missed a C there, but I think you'll pardon me on that. I hope so anyway. Okay, go. Let's see. Sorry, for some reason. There we go. So the rules of community solar. It is not third party and it's not energy aggregation. It is a brand new initiative. It's about allowing everybody to participate in the greening of New Jersey. So whether you're in an apartment, a condo, a high rise, you don't have to put panels on your building or your home. And in many cases, people can't. They either can't afford it or they don't have the right direction on their rooftop. So this allows everybody to participate. 51% of the electricity that's generated in this program has to be sold to low and moderate income households. They are most challenged with their utility bills because of their low income. It's a proportionately large amount of their monthly expense, and this allows them to participate and get the economic benefits of solar. It's a 20% discount each year on the electric cost, not the generation, not the transportation, but the actual electricity generated. It's a guaranteed 20% discount. People will enroll online and there are no fees. No long-term contracts. It's a very easy application. It takes about 5 minutes to do. We do understand that sometimes our low and moderate income families may not be anxious to do online applications, so we can actually help people do that. And then lastly, we would partner with local nonprofits that would help them with their fundraising through this project, but so that they can act as the conduit between Solar Landscape and the low-income families who might have been perhaps even scammed by solar developers in the past. These are the projects that Solar Landscape was approved for in the first round. Almost all of these are already powered. There are 2 in Pennsauken, and full disclosure, I used to be the mayor of Pennsauken. When this came to Pennsauken, I was thrilled. And I stepped down from Township Committee in December and have been working with Solar Landscape to bring this to other municipalities. Aberdeen, I mean, this is a nice little graphic, but really it is how the greenhouse gases are being replaced with solar. So we're actually removing 450 metric tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere each year, only in Aberdeen. And then also, if you participate in Sustainable Jersey, you can, find out some more information through them. They're fully supportive of this project, or this program, I should say. And Aberdeen could get points toward their certification. So in the first year was 10 to 15% on electricity, and now it's gone to 20%. This is how the website looks when people are actually going to sign on. And as I said, it's a very quick process. The only thing the person needs to do, it's PSE&G or JCP&L, whichever utility company provider that they have, that would appear on the screen. They would need to have that bill because it indicates how much electricity needs to be allocated for that household. It's important to the governor and to the state and to me personally, that's why I'm involved, that there is a community engagement part of this program. And we are looking to be able to participate in training people to be in the growth industry, which is solar. All green jobs are going to be growth industries because we need to be addressing our climate crisis. And once trained and certified as a professional energy professional, they can get prevailing wage, which is $62 an hour. So in New Jersey, what we will be doing is working toward family sustainable wages, as opposed to just minimum wage or living wage. We also work with housing authorities to support them and to work with them to identify the families to provide that 51% low and moderate income component. This is a young man who was actually at Edison Job Corps, and he was studying for his HVAC. Manny now is up on a rooftop, and well, maybe not today, but he is now participating and is able to get that $62 an hour. And, it's just a great opportunity. I think it's also relevant to say that many people have to be retrained in a different field of work as the economy changes. And so these are not just for young people. These are people entering a different field. And I think that's worthwhile to mention. We're starting to work with colleges and universities because there are a lot of people who are studying to be involved in green jobs or environmental sciences, and so this gives them an opportunity to take a look at solar. They can have a on-site tour with the foreman. They can get their study guide for the North American Board of Certified Energy Professionals, NABCEP certification. And we would pay for that testing as well as the preparation for the test. So this is the first.
Betsy, hold on, Betsy. You gotta unmute there.
How did I do that?
No,
I'm
I think
sorry.
it was by accident.
Oh, so this is a huge project, right? You see 1,100 local homes are getting powered. This is Perth Amboy. The governor was up on the roof on the 28th, very cold, windy day, and flipped the switch. So also the former mayor, Wilda Diaz, got an award from the Housing and Community Development Network of New Jersey. As somebody in public service, I continue to be in public service. I believe that this is a great opportunity also once you bring this program to Aberdeen, maybe in the next year cycle, to celebrate it with your residents. And it's a great press opportunity. So if approved, well, so this was the my last bit of language that I had here from before this cycle went through. We bring, clean energy, guaranteed discounts, and access for all. We are I consider Solar Landscape a vertical company where we will do everything from the ground up and stay engaged in the municipality for a 20-year term of the project. So it's a great opportunity to look at something that can benefit the planet and your residents at the same time. So if anybody wants to see another slide, I can go back. Otherwise, I will stop the share. I do have a picture on a separate, I'll just give one shot at doing this. I'm going to stop this share and try to go back in and show you. Oh goodness, where did it go? I don't think it. Oh, let's see. I have a picture of the project site. And I'm just going to try one more time here. Aberdeen. No, okay. I apologize. I thought I could pull it up. I had originally had a PDF that I think I sent to you, Mr. Russell, and it is ready for all of you. But in order to go through the slides for you tonight, I couldn't use the PDF. The picture of the rooftop that we're proposing this site is 460 County Road. And that one will power 450 homes. 51% have to be low and moderate income. So I thank you for giving me this opportunity to present to you, and I am available for questions.
How did we select the location? How did you select that?
So one of the best sites for or types of real estate companies to work with are those who do storage facilities, because they don't require much power to operate. So they don't require the power that is going to be generated on the rooftop because they only need the lights and the cooling, right, for storage units. And so, so there's a lot of rooftop available in storage facilities. So our salesman approached NSA, who is the property owner there, and they own a lot of different storage facilities in the state. And they said, we'd like you to do it there in Aberdeen. So it's usually a negotiation between Solar Landscape sales team and the property owners. It always is.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Mayor, if you're okay, Mr. Paul Rainier has a question.
Please, thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Rainier.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for your presentation. I have a question about, just because I don't know this, right? You said that there's a 20-year contract length. So if the, if the system itself lasts longer than that, what happens after the 20 years? And also what would happen if there's a change of ownership of the facility, like the underlying buildings? Thanks.
Yep. So that's a great question, and one I meant to address as I was going through. The lease that we have with the property owner is twofold. One, that we can lease the roof for the term of the project, 20 years. And then the second one is that they will not, oh gosh, I just forgot the word. It's not a dissolution clause. It's no disruption. So non-disruption. I can't remember what the word is. So they cannot remove the panels from the rooftop when they change the ownership of the building. So the new owner has to assume that those panels will stay there until the 20 years is up. The panel's lifetime is usually 25 years. We presume, and I hope correctly, that this program will grow exponentially in the next 10 years, and that that will just be replacing those panels with new panels as they expire.
Would there ever be a possibility of a second location in any particular town?
Absolutely. So it's a wide open area, Mayor. There's a lot of commercial rooftop in the state of New Jersey facing the sun. It is about capacity for the grid also. So JCP&L does interconnection with the solar company and the power of the grid, and it has to be approved through BPU how much power can be generated within Aberdeen. And so I don't know what that number would be, but yes, there are a lot of different projects that are coming before BPU right now. And then in the third year, and then it'll be wide open. It's going to be all over the place, because it's a safe way without using our green spaces and without being able to be seen even, so you're not going to be looking at panels. So it's a great opportunity for New Jersey to use solar in a way that is aesthetically pleasing as well.
I hate to hog this up, but I do have another question. Is this
Sure.
something, this particular project, is it something that the municipality should or would want to be involved with in helping you secure other locations? Or is it strictly under your guidance and expertise? If you would have shared that, if you would have shared how many square foot of rooftop you needed, and we knew other places existed, is that valuable information, or are you at a point where you've got to start looking at other locales?
We welcome and would look forward to a municipal government saying, this is where we want you to put this community solar. The program was designed, however, to take the burden off of the municipal government, primarily because of the aggregate problem. I don't know whether you had it, but we definitely had it twice presented to us in Pennsauken. And originally we thought it was a great idea. So aggregation is giving an aggregate saying all of our residents are going to be in unless they opt out. And so we said, okay, and they'll all get this great benefit of a reduced rate on their utility bills. And they said, absolutely. And it didn't happen. So the municipal government was on the hook for the bad feelings of the residents. And so this was designed to say, you don't have to do anything. We just want you to know what this is. So that if your residents ask you about it, you can say, yes, we're but you don't have to. In other words, you don't have to be taking up your time and your expertise to sell your residents on something that's beneficial to them. That was the reason. Now, some municipal governments may say, well, we have a landfill and we want to do solar on that landfill. And I don't know if Aberdeen has any brownfields that you're interested in looking at solar for. A lot of community solar companies will look to your administration to guide that, because you're the ones who get the lease payments. And that is a good opportunity for your budget.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Russell. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone.
Any other
I'm sorry, I have one more time. I'm
any
sorry.
questions?
Oh, yeah. Go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this is a totally private, it's a lot, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the very good presentation. I should start by saying that. And so we did get the aggregation pitch, but we haven't acted upon it yet. We have had a very successul solar project. Unfortunately, you didn't get to visit our town hall to talk to us tonight, which is probably good for you. We've been talking, but you didn't get to see the big canopies over our police cars and stuff like that. We've had a very successful solar project that we own on all of our pump stations, municipal buildings, land next to them, and things like that. It's reduced our municipal electric bill with a PPA from $130,000 down to like $30,000. Save about $100,000.
Congratulations. Yeah,
So that's been great. But this is really the same thing, except you're going to then sell the power you're generating from the space you're leasing on the storage facility's roof on County Road.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
so basically you're going to go around and I had a question. My question basically pertains to that. So this is basically you just running the market, having your own power plant on someone's roof, and then selling it through a PPA. Or I know it's not that simple. It goes back into the grid and washes out. But
Right.
functionally, you're agreeing to a guy to rent space on his roof, create power, and then you have to go and sell 51% of that to low and moderate income people in the area. So my
Yes.
question is, okay, so I got that correct.
Yes.
Okay, good. So then my
Yes.
question, it'll actually work. What area is that? Is that only within the boundaries of Aberdeen Township, or is that a geographic area, a grid? How do you determine that?
So that's a great question. So the Board of Public Utilities application has different scoring opportunities. If you sell only within the municipality where the site is located, you get the most amount of points. So our first round is going to be trying to connect with your residents within Aberdeen, and that's what we hope to do in every one of our projects. If Aberdeen, like there's some down in South Jersey and there are not a lot of residents, might be a big project, not a lot of residents. So it has to go to a wider geographic region in order to be subscribed. So the second tier is within adjoining municipalities. So ones that neighboring municipalities. And then the third is within neighboring counties. So sometimes, you have to go wider because you're generating a lot of power and don't have the subscriber base.
Okay, and then you have to obviously jump through hoops to get that wider jurisdiction from the BPU.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So you're here because you're going to be marketing to our residents, and they are going to call us when there's someone knocking on their door, like they usually do. And you-
So we are working, what we believe is that the best way is to work with the local nonprofits. And in particular in this time, we have a lot of food distribution sites across the state. And so we would work with them to say, can we put a flyer in the bag that the people take home that says, here's an opportunity? Because that's the trusting conduit. They already see those people on a weekly, monthly basis, whatever it is. And so that person might say, the director of that nonprofit might say, this is good for you. You should read this information. And that is, a good door to that possibility. We don't want to knock on doors.
Okay.
We want to, and we don't want to do direct mail. And we want to participate in supporting that nonprofit as well. So that relationship to support Aberdeen grows and evolves over the course of the time that we're there.
I got you. Okay. So it's not so much by way of explanation, but by way of cooperation.
Correct.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
I mean,
joining
everybody's a little different. That's a commitment to the community that we feel strongly about. Other people will do direct mail. So you're going to have other people come to you with community solar plans in the future or aggregation, and they're going to sell door to door, or they're going to do direct mailings. And I think that this is a way to be a better partner. And that is kind of what they're trying to get everybody to work toward, is to not be quite so alien to the residents, right? That this is something
Right,
that they
yeah.
embrace.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I understand now. I understand why you went through the community development aspect of your presentation. Because if you hire the
Thank you.
people that the community you're trying to sell to, you're more likely to be known in that community. I understand.
Absolutely. And just to finally, finish with that, if you are doing some environmental improvements in Aberdeen, we would be with you on that kind of stuff. So if you were doing a community garden or a rain garden or a cleanup, Solar Landscape would be, boots and shovels and participating in your community efforts for environmental efforts particularly, but supportive of your goals. Thank you so much for having me, gentlemen,
Thank you. Very,
ladies.
very good
I really
presentation.
do
Thank you.
appreciate it. I will, be available through email, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you so very much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Be
tonight.
safe out there, right?
Yes. Safe and
Yes.
well. Thank you so much, Betsy.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That seems to close out our workshop agenda. And we all had a chance to question Ms. McBride. Does anybody have any questions on the other 5 items before I take a motion to leave workshop to go to regular meeting?
Well, can I ask you guys what you all think about that? Well, that seems like a better option than the aggregation. Don't.
I totally agree with you, Councilman. Everything I've read so far, I like very much, and we'll have a lot to talk about. But I agree with
very
you.
market based.
Yeah, I agree with you. Any other questions on workshop? I don't see any. So I'm going to ask the deputy mayor if you'd be so kind to make a motion for us to leave workshop to go into the regular meeting.
Mr. Mayor, my fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to move from workshop into our regular session for this evening.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper, and the notice of this meeting has been posted on the doors of Town Hall. The next open public meeting of this council will be on March 4th, 2021. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cannon,
Here.
Councilman Hirsch. Okay. Councilwoman Kelly. Councilwoman Montone.
Here.
Councilman Swindell. Deputy Mayor Martucci,
Here.
Mayor Tagliamini.
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome again to the Aberdeen Township Council regular meeting for Thursday, February 18th, 2021. At this point, I would like to have a moment of silence for all the men and women in our military who protect us here at home and on foreign soil. We'd like also to keep in mind the entire medical community for working as diligently as they can with finding that cure and working so much to take care of the loved ones who are ill. I also like to thank our police, fire, CERT, EMS, first aid squad, all our first responders for everything they do day in and day out. And I now would allow you to a few moments for your own personal intentions. Okay, and now what I'd like very much is to have a salute to our great flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For
which stands one nation
Under
under
God,
indivisible
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. And as I say at every meeting, I know we can't wait to be back in the courtroom with all of you to conduct these meetings. But until then, we're doing a pretty good job on Zoom. And I thank Mr. Russell for setting that up for us. At this point, I would like to ask you if you have any reports. I'll start off, if you would allow me, just with a sincere words of gratitude to a man who's probably spent half his life with us in the uniform of police officer and every rank he's achieved, up to chief of police, and to tell Chief Rick Delahilo how much we will miss his service to our community. And we wish him the very best. And Chief, I couldn't think of a better partner until the next chief comes along to work with. You've always been so available to answer our questions, teach us what it's like to be a police officer in our great town, and for your guidance and leadership of this fine, fine department. So I want to thank you sincerely from me to you, and of course, on behalf of all the council, for everything that you've done in your career, and especially during your tenure as chief. I don't know why you wanted all the storms and the electric outlets and outages and everything else, but you sure had your hands full under your tenure. And I thank you, a sincere thank you from the entire council to you. You're on mute.
Chief, you're on mute, but how about you, before you speak, how about you hold off a couple seconds? You're on mute. Unmute yourself at least, but just before you talk, just hold on, because I think there's going to be a little bit of I should have did the playbook with the mayor, but we were kind of busy today. But Mayor, if anyone, maybe if we want to stay with this, I'm going to jump also unless another council person wants to say something. But I do have a couple things too before we go forward on this issue.
Council?
Yeah, Rick, obviously I've known you pretty much your whole life, you know, not only as a student and an athlete, but a police officer, the police chief, deputy chief, and so on. It's been a pleasure working with you for all these years. I know that I'll continue to be in touch with you through the Alumni Association. We'll always have that together as being part of the Husky family, and just enjoy retirement. Okay. I know you'll find something to do to keep yourself busy, and it's been a pleasure to be involved with you as a council member and a deputy mayor during your tenure.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Appreciate it.
Yes, Chief, if I may.
I realize that you're moving on to the next chapter of your life, and I have had the pleasure to get to know you and your family, and it's been a true pleasure over the last several years. I do hope, though, that you will still give us the honor of you joining us at some of the most incredible concerts Monmouth County has ever seen during the 2021 Aberdeen Concert in the Park Series.
That's a guarantee. I'll be there.
Outstanding.
Mhm. Councilwoman? Margaret?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Well, what can I say, Chief? I as well have known you for many, many, many years. And it has been an unbelievable pleasure to work with you, to learn from you, to have opportunities to get to know our police department better and what exactly they do, and have you always there for us to answer questions and make us understand, even sometimes when we're not quite listening to what's happening around us, what really is the real deal. This is exciting for you, another chapter. Enjoy it, and look forward to seeing you at some of our events, and also just as a person in the street when we get to meet, maybe at Starbucks or at a local pizza place or something. So have a great retirement.
Thank you very much.
Rick, you were in my very, very first geometry class when I started to teach. Very, very first one. And that's what I remember you from. And, I still always see that same 16-year-old, I guess. But it's been a pleasure knowing you all these many years. And also Joy. I mean, I just love working with Joy on the Hall of Fame committee. And so we'll probably see you guys all the time. So.
We're not going too far. Not yet, anyway.
Enjoy your retirement.
Yet, so.
My last.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Hey, Ricky, congratulations. Well deserved. You and I have in common that we were pretty much born here, right? You were baptized at the beach, hung out at Strathmore, graduated from football field. And that's what we've had in common. And what I've appreciated most about your service to the town is that whenever I talk to you, you always look at it in the big picture in the history of the town, and that there's more than just like you in that position or what have you. It's really about keep leaving that legacy and leaving it for the next generation, because you were born and I don't think you're going anywhere. We'll both die here. So, but in all seriousness, I mean, that's the way I feel about it. And that's what I most appreciate about your service is your dedication to the town and the community that you grew up in. And as the only member of the council who's probably younger than you, I look up to that, and I try to do that in my position as well and follow your example. And I appreciate that. So best of luck to you. I look forward to seeing you around Mark Woods.
I'll be around. It's always been easy, when you grow up here, and it's always easy to work here and think about the town first. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're muted, Councilman. There you go.
Rick, I'm not one of those like to say goodbye, and you know that. But one thing I would like to say that it's been a pleasure not only being around you, but celebrating just our friendship, even before when you was patrolman, up until you got to be the deputy chief and now the chief. And I know you're going to be around, and so I'll meet you at our regular spot.
All right. It's a date. Thank you.
If I can, like I said, I should have cut the mayor off in the beginning, because I think maybe we needed to read this first, so Ricky can remember some of these things and everyone else and put it on the record. But I want to thank the public information officer for helping me get some info here, because I was reading this today, kind of laughing, going, "Wow, there's some stuff here on Ricky he didn't tell me when we meet and talk all the time." But I'm just going to read this real quick, because for probably the person that has known Ricky the shortest amount of time, I have to say he has become a very good friend of mine, and will miss him coming into my office almost daily. I won't miss when he closes my door, because then I know I got a problem. But I will miss him coming in every day. And I will say I did train him very well to wear the mask in my office. That makes me feel even a lot better. But it's gonna be very strange in a week when he doesn't come barging through my office in the mornings, giving me my update. But I just wanted to read this just to remind everyone of our chief. Chief Darahilo joined the department in 1985 as a patrol officer. Rick, I just want to tell you, I was 5 years old when that happened, by the way, just to put it in perspective.
You're a little bit better than some of the officers that weren't even around then.
And rose to the ranks to become a detective in 1990, a sergeant assigned to the patrol division in 92, commander of the detective bureau in 95, lieutenant in 2003, and deputy chief in 2006, and now presently chief, which began in 2019. Chief Darahilo's community involvement includes serving as a member of the Cliffwood Volunteer Fire Company since 1976 and serving on the Board of Fire Commissioners of District 2, Cliffwood for 7 years, serving as a volunteer, in Cliffwood for 7 years, and serving as a volunteer assistant baseball coach for the Aberdeen Matawan School District from 2006 to 2018, and serving as a member of the Matawan Football Alumni Foundation since 2008. He holds a Master's of Administrative Science degree from Fairleigh Dickinson University and a Bachelor's of Science degree in Criminal Justice from Rutgers University. And I just, again, want to wish Ricky all the best and that you get to enjoy some retirement time before you get antsy and start doing something else. But again, like I said earlier, I will miss our time of you walking in the office and always giving me the history of something in the town. I have to say, he always gives me history. I know more things, I think, about Aberdeen because I pull Ricky in on not even police matters, and he gives me a breakdown. And it's funny, just yesterday alone, I talked to him about Cliffwood Beach and the beachfront, and I got a really cool binder of pictures of the history of Cliffwood Beach, and he, scarily enough, knows a lot about that stuff as a great historian. So I want to thank you for that. And again, I just wish you all the best, and I hope you enjoy your next chapter and everything that you want to do going forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. It's amazing how fast 36 years can go by. And but when you're doing something that you love and working with the people that you enjoy being around, you can understand why or how it goes so quickly. It's absolutely been my honor and privilege to serve the people and the government of Aberdeen Township. I could think of no other job that I'd ever want to do. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to walk out as the chief of police is the cherry on top of the ice cream. I never dreamt, 36 years ago that this would ever happen. I thought if I made sergeant, I'd really be successful. And but I enjoy the people that I work with. That's what makes it great for me every day to come to work. And I appreciate the support from the mayor and council over the years, not just my last couple of years, but throughout my whole career. We've always had a great relationship. I hope that continues with Chief Geyer when he starts. That relationship continues, and I just can't thank you enough for the opportunities that you provided for me and my family, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief, very much. And I guess it's just a segue when you're saying goodbye to someone. It's quite reasonable that you're also saying hello and welcoming a new person. And for the next couple of weeks, he'll be Deputy Chief Geyer, and he will be our next chief. And Deputy Chief, I'll have to call you that for a couple of weeks. We're looking forward to your service to our great town. You too are no stranger to Aberdeen. And I know that I look forward to working with you and having you to continue to guide the Aberdeen Police Force in a way we know you want to. So we're welcoming you a little early, and we'll certainly do it again. But Deputy Chief, we just look forward to working with you and continuing the great relationships we've had with Rick and with John Powers and other chiefs. And welcome aboard, and we wish you Godspeed on your tenure as chief.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're very welcome.
Hold on, Mayor, if no one really realized that, yeah, Deputy Chief Al Geyer is on with us again tonight, and effective March 1st, the Deputy Chief will become Chief of Police of the Aberdeen Police Department. And I think our first meeting for him will be March 4th. So I think I wanted everyone to at least, I wanted to acknowledge the Deputy Chief tonight for this evening. And I think I'll have a few more things for me to say about our Deputy Chief come March 4th, when he really is on the hot seat and has to start answering. I know Ricky has been training him. He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good at my department head meetings the past couple of weeks. And I think that the chief has kind of been playing with him a little bit, because I've been catching him on a couple questions, and I've been getting them. So he'll be ready for the next meeting as well. But I think at that point, I'll make a couple more comments on the deputy chief, but or at that point to be the chief. But again, I just for today wanted to make sure that this is our Chief Farah-Hilo's last meeting, but also to recognize Deputy Chief Geyer, who will be taking the reins as of March 1st.
Correct. And it's my understanding, Deputy Chief, you'll be with us Saturday during budget?
Yes, I will.
That's good. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And of course, thank you for joining us tonight. Any other members of council have any reports that they would like to give tonight?
Mayor, I just like to thank Mr. Russell and our DPW workers, okay, for doing an outstanding job, along with the police force and Chief Farah-Hilo and Deputy Chief Geyer. You know, just a tremendous job with the roads, getting them cleared in a short period of time. It's been a very difficult month, and you gentlemen have done a great job, along with the workers, okay, of the DPW in cleaning up the town.
Well said. Well said. Anyone else have some comments or?
I just had an update. I'm sorry.
Okay, Councilman.
It's your party.
Oh, well, just to follow up on a deputy mayor, our latest weather report that I read just before we went on. I don't know if you heard this sleet and rain is going to transition back to snow by morning, and with the possibility of another 1 to 3 inches. So we're going out with a bang.
I think you ordered it, Chief. I think you ordered.
Well, you know what?
You ordered the pandemic. You ordered the snowstorms, and
going
going back in August.
Storm and a few other things. Yeah, we packed a lot in this year, didn't we?
More than we'd want to remember. Councilman Cannon, I think you had a report of some sort.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. I know that we've talked about the erosion at the beach off the seawall and the scour. I think Paul was on here before. I don't know if he's still here, but he sent me a bunch of materials on it. I just wanted to report an update to, not just Paul in particular, but the public as well. But Paul provided a lot of the underlying information as the chair environmental. For the council and the mayor, as you saw, reached out to Earl about their dredging project with the sand and made new contacts there. And we were working that angle. The manager and I had lunch with a coastal engineering expert who has helped Manasquan and Belmar. We had lunch with him the other day to get his opinion on, what we need, like the prerequisites that the mayor was fleshing out from Earl. So we're kind of working both those angles in addition to the other potential solutions we've talked about. But we made a lot of progress, and it seems like a lot of what the mayor found out from Earl has really dovetailed with what Brian and I were talking to the coastal engineering expert about. So it seems like we're on the, if we were looking for the trail last time, we've at least found the breadcrumbs this time and see where we could take it. So that was what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and continuing to circle around these environmental issues and stuff. And I'm glad I don't have to come back to the aggregation. So that's great.
Good. Very good, Councilman. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, not seeing any. I'll go to agenda item number 5, which is the hearing of the citizens on agenda items only. Please use your hand signal or a thumbs up so that our manager will be able to let you ask your questions.
Mr. Perry, go ahead. You can unmute.
I'm unmuted. I've started my video. Agenda items. Number A there, resolution 2021-50. So this is our second shared services agreement that Aberdeen has?
Well, for doing this road, yes.
No, how many shared services agreements do we have in total? I asked at a recent council meeting and I was told that we only had the one, which was being considered by the council at that time.
If memory serves us, we had a shared service agreement with Homedale when we paved Line Road. In fact, that was a trifecta, Mr. Perry. It was Homedale and Aberdeen, along with the county, who actually did the work. I think our responsibility was buying the asphalt, and Homedale and Aberdeen split the cost on that, and the labor was provided by Monmouth County. Councilman Cannon, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we also do a road with Matawan, or we're planning to do?
Yeah, I mean, what's the exact question? Like how many road shared service agreements?
No, how many shared services agreement does Aberdeen currently have? I asked
we have one for Atlantic
I asked the
Avenue.
question a couple council meetings ago, and I was told that at the time, the shared services agreement that they were contemplating, that we only had that one once it was approved.
Yeah, that's why I asked you to clarify the question, because I wasn't sure you're talking about just the road. At that time, that was the only road one that was active. But we have other ones. We have a bunch of purchasing that Angela could probably tell you more. She pays the bills every month. But we have a bunch of purchasing agreements with the school and Matawan for joint purchasing. We have shared services on this road here. We did Atlantic Avenue. We did Woodbrook Avenue with Marlboro. We did Line Road with Homedale. We have a shared service, obviously, for the EMS with Matawan. We have a shared service for, I think we used to do it for animal control, but I don't think we do that anymore. Angela, could you name the purchasing ones? Those are the like the most number, quote unquote, of shared service agreements, or with
those are the ones that you mentioned are the most recent ones that we've done that have been on a limited basis. In other words, once the project is complete, the shared service is over. But in addition to that, if you look on the user-friendly budget, there is a page on there that lists all the continuing shared services agreement, which would be the school resource officer, the HAM program. You know, I can't recall off the top of my head. I'd have to like pull them up, but there are a couple, yes.
We also have the municipal court.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We also have the municipal court with Matawan. They have the Matawan, Aberdeen Court, Matawan Court is held out of our.
We just started that one, yes.
Yeah, that's the one I was referencing that was being contemplated.
The court. That's the one that you're looking for information on?
No, I was looking for all shared services agreement, but if I understand you correctly, Angela, if I go to the user-friendly budget on our website, it'll identify all our current shared services.
There is a page on there that identifies all the shared services that we're, you know, I'm not sure what the sheet number is. I haven't done it in a year.
I actually just pulled it up, so I'll save you guys all the time.
Okay.
So beyond this, the single project for 2020, which doesn't include the court one because that wasn't
right
user-friendly budget in 2020. We have the HAM program.
Yes.
We have the school resource officer. We have EMS.
Yes.
And we have a shared services agreement with transit for maintenance.
Yes.
Of the train lots. So those are the standing ones in addition to the court one. And then we've been entering into these single serve shared services agreements to get individual projects done, which I guess count the number, or I don't know if you're looking for the permanent ones, but that's the answer.
What about Madawan's use of our construction official and code enforcement officer? Is that a shared services agreement or that's some other type of agreement?
They pay them separate. They pay that, they work for them too. So like they're part-time employees for Madawan and then they're employees for us.
So that's not a shared services agreement?
No,
No,
No, but it is something that we're exploring because a lot of the officials are actually just, they work for both towns at this moment, the licensed officials. And so I know that Brian is presently in talks with Scott, the administrator of Mattawa. I don't speak for Brian, but I mean, we are looking at that because that's an obvious economy of scale.
Yep, you are correct, and we are in talks now, lightly, but we are moving forward to hopefully be able to bring some kind of presentation forward to council at some point soon.
So there is a written agreement between Matawan and Aberdeen with respect to the services that our construction official and our code enforcement officer provides?
No.
no.
We have an agreement with our employee about when he has to use Mattawan's car and what he has to do in terms of to make sure that the time is kept and accounted for separately in his various jobs.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number D under the consent agenda, which is 2021-53. It's the Atlantic Avenue water main replacement. I'm assuming that's within the Aberdeen's water district that we own.
the funds are coming out of the water utility, yes.
Okay, so that you anticipated my question, Angela. So there's no tax dollars being used
No,
by residents that are not within the water district for this project.
I would have to double check as far as if there is a road component to that. But the road component would be part of the current budget. And I don't recall offhand, Brian, if we had a road component to that.
I believe that's after
But
Anthony.
generally, depending on the size of the project is where we charge the road component to.
So if there's a road component to the water project,
It may be charged, depending on the size of the project, to the water utility, yes.
but if there, but the road component itself, every taxpayer at large contribute to that?
Every
road component?
taxpayer uses the road.
But every taxpayer is not responsible for the repair of the water project, are they?
No, again, it depends on the specific project.
It's a standard, Tom. So like, for example, if you dig down 25 feet for a sewer pipe and have to dig the road end to end, then you can charge the road to the sewer project because the sewer project ergo destroyed the road, right? But if you dig down 2 feet or you're going across the baseball field where part of some of our pipes run in the high school and there's no road component, we just pay for it from the water budget because the people who have New Jersey American shouldn't pay for the pipes. But if you go down 2 feet and then the top coat's done from side to side, which we often do without just replacing the trench, we'll do the whole road so it looks right. Well, you can't charge like the other side of the road to the water budget. That's not allowed. So then that
Right.
comes from the general fund. I think that's what Angela is. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we didn't own the water system, who would pay for that? If a New Jersey American Water owned the water and they had to do the repairs.
If you want to depend on them to redo the road.
See that? I'm sorry.
Can I just say something here, Tom? I think one of the things we're not saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but this started with the road project. We were going to recon that road, and when we started to look at doing the road,
yes,
we realized that the water pipes needed to be changed, and this was the time to do it. So it wasn't like the pipes caused us to have to do the road. It was the road project that caused us to look at the pipes. Do you know what I mean?
You're right.
That is helpful, but my question still is if New Jersey American Water owned the water pipe and they had to do the repairs, who would be responsible for then doing the repairs of the road?
I can answer that.
Utility company.
They would.
The utility company would pay for the repair of the part of the road that they destroyed, not the entire road. If they repaired a strip down the middle of Atlantic Avenue, because that's all they needed to do to replace the water pipe, they would repair the strip down the middle. if Aberdeen Township wanted that road to be done correctly and uniformly and look nice and ride nicely, then that would become the responsibility of the township. And hence the tax dollars for every resident in the township.
Right, it works the same way whether New Jersey American digs the pipe or we dig the pipe. The tax dollars come in when we're doing more than just the trench, or the trench was big enough to destroy the whole road.
And
Right,
this
so I didn't drill down through the resolution. So does the $1.3 million that's contemplated by 2021-53, does that include the replacement of the road as well, or that you're talking about?
Not by the numbers I was
No.
looking at the budget in. I think that's just the pipe.
Correct.
I'm almost positive that's just the pipe.
Yeah, this is just for the water, for the piping work that we still have to, then we would go out for a bid for the mill and pave of the
Yeah,
road.
once we figure out how badly they damage the road, then we have to go out and pave it again. But like, so for example, on that project, when we go to pave it, there'll be the pipe cut down the opposite side of where New Jersey American Water already cut the road on the other side, right? And so our pipe goes down the other side of the street, but then it turns right before the culvert or the old Conrail line and goes across the high school. So that money is paying for the pipe to go almost all the way to the D section off the road. And if you're asking where did the New Jersey American Water money go that they dug up the other side of the road, they crossed, if you notice, they crossed over and went to the Madeline side on the part that's completely paved. And so they were gonna come down our road and do half of it. And then we would have had to dig up the other side to replace our pipe. So we made a deal with them where they would take their money and they would go down the other way on the other half of the road towards Madeline, which is actually technically a little longer. And they would pay and do all of that curb to curb. And then we would just deal with our side. We would fix their trench when we did our side as well, if that's what you're driving towards at the end of the day.
So if Aberdeen didn't own the water, then we wouldn't have to spend $1.3 million to repair this pipe here on Atlantic Avenue. Is that a fair statement?
I would have to say,
yeah, I mean, the ratepayers are paying no matter who delivers the water, but I mean, yeah, you could say it that way.
I did say it that way. I was just asking for, is that true? So Aberdeen wouldn't have to pay for it.
Well, the water utility is paying for it, not the Aberdeen residents, as far as the water pipe is concerned. Because the water utility is paying for the reconstruction of the water main pipe.
Okay, so where do the funds come for that fund the water utility?
The users of the water.
Right. So, all right. That's all I have on the agenda. Thank you very much.
thank you, Mr. Perry. And just as a final note, because you brought up American Water, it's good to note that in the past 11 years or so, New Jersey American Water has replaced 51% of the water lines in Aberdeen and will continue to do so through their capital. So that's just a little extra information about New Jersey American Water. So does New Jersey Natural Gas does their repairs and everything else. So, but we thank you for the question.
Mayor, I'm sorry, can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
And I know this is out of order, but if I don't want to forget it. Oh, do we know when the gas company is indeed going to come back and do curb to curb on Englewood Lane? Because it's still cut up out there and it's now, I don't know, another season past when we originally talked about this. So Brian, you have any idea, any update on that, Brian?
I don't have an answer on that. Anthony, have you heard anything from gas or no?
I haven't, but I can certainly reach out to him tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to do it in the middle of a snowstorm, but it would be really nice if they showed up less than 18 months after they dug it up, and that would be basically March. So,
yeah, I can certainly ask them for a list of their anticipated roads they plan on doing this spring and summer, and then what they planned on in the future also.
Okay.
Real quick to the mayor's last point, and then I appreciate that. In fact, I see on a weekly, if not daily basis, of reports of New Jersey American making investments to repairing aging repairs to what I will call stranded investments, to the latest one being Lakewood. And I'll just again submit to the council's consideration that we get rid of this stranded investment and stop paying money and give it to New Jersey American, whoever wants to buy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian, do you see anybody else with
Yes,
a?
Mr. Rainier, Paul. Go ahead.
Thank you. Paul Rainier, 109 Wilson Avenue in Aberdeen. Just want to comment, there's pros and cons to water privatization. But my question on the agenda item is on the stormwater ordinance introduction. You guys are using the NJDEP model ordinance?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And were there any amendments made to it?
Not at this time, but we certainly would to consider them through your committee as we get going. But as you know, we had a March 2nd, March 4th soft deadline, and that's why tonight is first reading. We'll have the second reading, and we will be in compliance with DEP's new regulations.
Right, I just wanted to see if there were any changes made that I need to read it between now and then. So, okay, cool. So, great, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Any other hands, sir?
No, Mayor, no. Oh my God. Sorry, no one else at this time.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move along to number 6. And I would like very much if Councilman Swindell would present this proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. To the mayor and my fellow council members, it's a privilege that I should read this great proclamation from the Township of Aberdeen. And it reads as thus. Whereas during the Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by the African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. Whereas Black History Month grew out of an establishment in 1926 of the Negro History Week by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas the 2021 national theme for observance of the Black family is representation, identity, and diversity, have been reverenced, stereotyped, vilified from the days of slavery to our own time. While the role of the Black family has been described by some as a microcosm of the entire race, its complexity as the foundation of African American life and history can be seen in numerous debates over how to represent its meaning. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas the Township of Aberdeen continues to work toward becoming as an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contribution and potential contributions to our community, the state, the country, and the world. And whereas the Township of Aberdeen is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans to our community throughout our state and nation. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Township Council, Fred Tagliarini, Mayor of the Township of Aberdeen, do by here proclaim February 2021 as Black History Month and encourage all citizens to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're moving along to new business 7A, Councilwoman Montone.
Mayor Tagliarini, Deputy Mayor Martucci, and fellow council members, I would like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number 1-2021.
Second.
Ordinance number 1, 2021, an ordinance of the Township of Aberdeen, Monmouth County, amending Chapter 25 Land Development of the Code of the Township of Aberdeen, Stormwater Control. This ordinance will be advertised in the February 23rd issue of the Asbury Park Press, and a public hearing and possible adoption will be held on March 4th, 2021. Councilman Cannon.
Yeah.
Councilman Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone.
Yes.
Councilman Swindell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like if the deputy mayor would make a motion for 7B, please.
Mr. Mayor, and my fellow council members, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda, resolutions 2021-50, 51, 52, and 53, along with RA 1219 raffle license for Temple Shalom.
Second.
Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montone.
Yes.
Councilman Swindell.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martucci.
Yes.
Mayor Tagliarini.
Yes, thank you very much. And now we'll move on to number 8, which is the hearing of citizens' correspondence petitions. Any type of new business, just please indicate, raise your hand or thumb up, and Brian Russell will call on you and let us know.
Mr. Perry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. First of all, I'm shocked, saddened, and envious of Chief De La Hiro's retirement. I've always found, both as a member of council and a member of the CERT team, him to be the consummate professional. So congratulations to you, Chief. I hope that maybe once all this COVID-ness is behind us, that we'll have a proper ceremony for you to honor your commitment to this township. In that regard, I also congratulate Deputy Chief Geyer on his next role within the township as the Chief of Police. Moving on, quickly, did we hire a PIO yet? I didn't hear the response, Mr. Russell.
I'm sorry, the train went by, so I had my mic closed off. No, we have not yet.
Oh, the only other thing I had to add was I like the phrase trusted conduit that Ms. McBride used. I might have to adopt that one. That was a nice turn of the phrase there, but in any event. And finally, I understand there's a budget meeting on this Saturday by the town council and all the department heads. Is the information that's going to be presented or discussed at the town budget, is that going to be made available to the public prior to that meeting, or will that be presented somehow through the Zoom shared feature?
And Angela can, I think, come back me up. Right now, the information that's going forward is internal numbers for the mayor and council at this time, not going out to the public yet. But most of the information will be displayed by the question and answers from mayor and council and the presentation by the department heads.
All right, I kind of accept that as a non-answer, but so.
Well, I think generally in the past, what we did was we had the meetings in person and everyone discussed, all the department heads presented their budgets, and we had a question and answer series. I don't know, do you recall something differently than I do?
No, but that's to the point, Angela, is that the department heads would present their budget and that would be available to the public at that meeting. So I guess more specifically, my question is that type of information either going to be made available to the public either in advance or via a Zoom shared type of feature.
I think the documents that we have are considered internal documents and subject to constant change. So presenting them to the public may be a little deceiving because literally our numbers change on a day-to-day basis as we question things and so forth. The introduced budget is definitely made public.
Mr. Mayor, you look like you want to say something.
I do want to, thank you, Mr. Perry. And Karen, I'm going to ask you, is Saturday not advertised?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's advertised.
Yeah, so Mr. Perry, you will be using this electronic device to attend the meeting. And I can certainly share with you right now that it's no different. That's why I was a little stunned and taken back. And thank you for reading my face. This will be conducted as we've held our budget meetings in the past. We'll interview and get information from our department heads. And as we close out the meeting, that would be the opportunity in pure transparency to take a question or two. If you would like very much, while it's still fresh in one's mind, to email the question as you're going along to Mr. Russell, that's fine too. But I will not close that meeting until any resident that is still on the Zoom will have an opportunity to ask whatever we would ask. There's no difference. That's why I looked a little bit stunned. There's no difference from last year, except that we did it in the evening last year and could not come to an agreement on an evening. And so therefore, we're all planning on 3 to 4 hours Saturday morning, starting at 9:30. It will be advertised and all is welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that clarification. No, it definitely is advertised. But
yes.
My question really goes to, say, for example, Chief Durahielo always has his wish list. And I know there's always there's a boat so we can patrol the bay there. I know that for a fact. So, and that is, that his wish list and his budget is always, provided for the public review in an in-person meeting. So my question goes to whether those type of documents, when they are being discussed by the various department heads, whether those are going to be, shared so that the public can view them to follow them along.
Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't ever remember sharing those booklets with the public.
And
I know you've been in on the meetings, and again, as I say, they're subject to change literally by the hour. Because that's the whole.
All right, so I guess the short answer is no, they're not going to be available for the public.
Yes.
And I have to.
Like they ever have. They never have.
No, they are available, and I respectfully disagree. If they're, regardless of that they're changing, they're public documents, and
no, they're not public documents. They're internal.
If they're being discussed at an open workshop, they are public documents. If the short answer is no, they're not going to be available. They're not going to be available. That's the answer.
No, they're not going to be available.
Okay.
And I don't think they ever were available.
Right. Well, okay.
Do you remember getting the booklet and looking through it?
I do, because I'm usually the only. Okay. I'm the only resident from Aberdeen.
And did you leave with the booklet?
Leaving with the booklet is a different issue.
Did you leave the premises with the booklet?
Leaving with the booklet is a different issue. Being able to see and observe the workshop and process is what the public's entitled to, and that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I fully.
But the short answer is that those documents are not going to be available. I'll accept that answer. That's the answer.
They will not be available. As this is my second year doing these hearings with the mayor and council. I know last year they were not available for the 2 people that were in the room as well for that meeting. They were there. They listened. They listened to all the presentations by the department heads, any questions from the mayor and council, and the regular, like I said, as Angela said and I said earlier, the documents were not given to anyone else as they were always changing, and they were internal documents at that time until the intro budget was given later on that month.
Mr. Russell, I appreciate your comments and your 2 years of experience here at the Aberdeen, but based upon my 20 years experience, I beg to differ. The short answer is those documents will not be available to the public, the budget hearing. I'll accept that answer. Thank you, Mayor.
We'll agree to disagree, so that's fine.
No, we're not agreeing to disagree. The fact of the matter is that you're not going to make those documents available to the budget, to the public. That's the issue. We're not agreeing to disagree about anything.
No problem, Mr. Perry.
My only issue is that they are internal documents and that they constantly change as these meetings go forward.
They do constantly change, but they are public documents. If I file an Oprah request, I'm getting those documents.
No,
So I
they're
don't know why
not.
you're
They're
not
not
gonna make
public
them available at the
documents.
public
Tom,
meeting.
they're not public documents.
But you're not getting, those are not public documents. They're internal documents dealing with finances and a budget.
The legal term of
They
art is
become-
draft deliberative. They're draft deliberative documents.
Exactly. They're not finalized
Final
documents.
decision. That's
Discussed at an open public meeting at workshop. We'll address this
Perhaps
later.
we offered you the
We'll
luxury
address
of
this later.
looking through them at the time, but I cannot imagine that we allowed you to leave with those.
I didn't leave. I'm not asking to leave with them. I just want to see what you're talking
Well,
about.
then propose
Otherwise,
an
I might as well just sit in the
alternative.
dark and listen to you people.
Then propose an alternative on how we can share the documents without you
I think
leaving
Zoom
with
is,
them.
I think Zoom is already, I don't want to leave with them. I think Zoom has already provided that. You share the stream
Okay.
and whatever department head's talking about, the public gets to look at it.
But they don't get to look at people's salaries that haven't been paid yet, or any of the
Right.
personnel stuff that's in it. So that's why they're draft deliberative documents.
Whatever was
Never showed
presented.
on the screen.
Mr. Cannon, whatever was available at in-person meetings should be available at a Zoom meeting. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to do anything that was different in, I'm gonna say 20+ years past. Not excluding Mr.
Frankly, I don't
Russell's 2
really
years
care what you
experience.
think, Tom. I just don't want employees to complain that they didn't get the pay that's in the draft budget and then come back and we have a big personnel problem. I could care less. You follow along with this all day. It's coming out eventually.
Yeah, but to
That's
that
what I
point,
think that people are
but to
worried
that-
about here.
but to that point, if an employee shows up, they're entitled to see what you're presenting at the workshop as well.
No, they have the option about whether that's private or public. And that's the distinction. That's what the issue that you're running into in this whole discussion, because we're talking in circles, is no one really cares if you follow on with the budget. We don't want to end up with a personnel problem. That's why the CFO's dancing around your question and everyone's dancing around your question. I mean, cutting right to the chase. So, I mean, that's the issue. That's why the draft deliberative, which is the term of art under Oprah.
All right, so the public will just have to follow along and not be able to see documents. That's the answer.
Maybe we can redact some stuff from it and give it to you. Like, I mean, I don't. This isn't an
I don't want to, I don't want to.
obstructionism. It's that we don't have the mechanism to satisfy you, and we're not really sure what to tell you right now.
It's not a matter of satisfaction. It's just a matter of what the public should be available, allowed to see during this workshop discussing the budget. That's the only question.
It's not a
I
question.
mean, it'd be great if we didn't have this remote COVID restriction quarantine, I'd be sitting there next to you, listening and observing. That's all I'm asking. I don't have that opportunity
pick
now.
up the book it because you're usually a former council person, but I'm not actually sure where you're supposed to pick it up. I know what you usually do, but now that you've raised the question in a public recorded forum, we have to give you the correct answer, right? Not just let you come in and look at the book. So now we're going to look into it and we're going to get the right answer now that you brought it up. So we'll figure it out and then we'll run it the appropriate way.
Are there any other questions from our audience tonight?
Mr. Rainier, you had your hand up. Do you still have any questions?
Paul Rainier. No, it was about, I wanted to thank Greg for looking into the beach sand issue. I had to send him some materials. But I'll give you a call because I have a couple other things going on during the, probably within the week.
Thanks, Paul.
Brian, do you see anyone else looking to be recognized?
No, Mayor, nothing at this time.
All right, then I'd like to ask our attorney for the executive session resolution.
Yes, Mayor. Resolution authorizing Township Council to enter into executive session, whereas the Township Council are mindful of the right of the public to attend and witness meetings of governmental bodies at which public business is discussed. and to be involved in all phases of governmental action. And whereas the Open Public Meetings Act nonetheless recognizes the authority of a public body to exclude the public from meetings in certain enumerated instances in which disclosure of matters discussed could endanger public safety, property, or other public interest, or invade individual privacy. And whereas, as authorized by the Open Public Meetings Act, be it resolved that the Township Council will meet in private session at 9:05 p.m. on February 18th, 2021 to discuss the following specific items: contractual, RFQ, personnel. Be it resolved that the matters so discussed will be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Okay, motion to adjourn to executive.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And to the best of my knowledge, I do not think we're planning on taking any action. If we do, we'll certainly come back live again. Thank you all very, very much for attending. Thank you all very much for your questions and comments, and continue to be safe and be careful if you're driving tomorrow. It looks like the weather's getting worse again. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night now.
Night.
Good night.
Night.